Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Today we're doing the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Moveset video guide on how to use both GALLADE and GARDEVOIR. This was a highly requested video by you all, and don't worry, I see all the comments. I see people asking for my Lodic. I see people asking for the late trio. I'm going to get to everything. It's just going to take some time. But if you guys do enjoy these videos, making sure you leave a comment down below, or make sure you leave a comment down below about the next Pokemon you would like to see, as well as leave a like on the video. You help me out, you help my channel grow. Speaking of helping my channel grow, if you're new to the videos, feel free to subscribe. On my way to 300k, that is my end of next year goal. I upload 2 to 3 Pokemon videos a day currently, and we have a Moveset video guide today. Obviously this one you're watching right now. We have a Showdown Live going up later today, part of the Road to Top 10, and then we have a Wi-Fi battle as well. So a lot of content every single day. And also, if you guys want to check out my new merch, feel free to. That link is down below as well. Only available for another week and a half. Now, both of these Pokemon are super cool. I love both Gardevoir and GALLADE. GALLADE being the physical variant, I think is sick as well. We're going to start off with GALLADE in this one, but the first set we have is a Choice Band variant of GALLADE, taking that base 125 attack to another level. Obviously, with the you have to be locked into a move with a Choice Band, but I think you almost always go Jolly with GALLADE. It has a really good speed tier above very prominent threats like Adamant Lucario, like Heatran, Timid Heatran, like Jolly Breloom, and at least speed time with opposing Jolly Mamoswine, as well as Timid Togekiss, I think can help out GALLADE in the long run. This one likes to hit hard. So this one you could actually use on Sticky Web if you really want to, like on a Sticky Web team, or on like a Spikes offense with like Skarmory instead of Spikes. I think Donphan is a phenomenal partner as well to allow, just to take the physical hits that GALLADE does not like to take with its weak base 65 defense. But again, who cares about its defense? Its attack is what you really should be caring about. So that close combat comes off that base 125 attack. It's incredibly hard. And Psycho Cut is your other stab move. That is your stab. That is unfortunately the stab that GALLADE has right now. You can't use Zen Headbutt, which is stronger, but of course has a chance to miss. But unfortunately, GALLADE does not have that currently in its move pool in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl for whatever reason. Knockoff is your next move. Knockoff is an incredible move, hitting the ghost types that want to come in on your close combats, hitting the psychic types that want to come in and resist both your close combats and psycho cuts. And then your last move, I like Shadow Sneak. I think having that priority move to pick off a weakened GALLADE, well yeah, you would actually pick off opposing weakened GALLADE, but also a weakened Gengar, a weakened Alakazam, a weakened Latios. I think having priority on a strong Choice Band Pokemon is nice, even if it's a weaker 40 base powered non-stab priority move, because a lot of the Pokemon that can outspeed and knock out GALLADE are relatively frail. So, of course, if we do have the Choice Band set, we have to have the Choice Scarf set. Now, Choice Scarf runs the exact same thing, Jolly, max attack, max speed, with the close combat, Psycho Cut, and Knockoff. Those are your givens, you want that. Specifically Knockoff as well in Scarf, because, I mean, that's Latios, Alakazam, and Gengar outsped and dealt with after a little bit of prior damage, unlike Latios' case, and the other two do die. And then you have, as your last move, kind of up to you, Stone Edge is an option versus Flyers. It's an okay option, you know, versus like Zapdos and stuff like that. Destiny Bond means that if you know that GALLADE is going to die to whatever's in front of you, like let's say your opponent has, I don't know, a Choice Band Azumarill and they're locked into Player Off or Waterfall. You go for Destiny Bond, you die, you take them down with you. Unfortunately, GALLADE doesn't currently have access to like none of its coverage moves, like the elemental punches like Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, or Leaf Blade, which is not an elemental punch, but it's a move that it does have access to in future or in previous games. But that's one of those options. The other option is Memento. Because you are Scarf, you can use Memento to set up for other teammates, like Belly Drum Azumarill is a good partner for that, Dragon Dance Salamence, Swords Dance Lucario, if you want to get into double fighters, Swords Dance Scizor. I like GALLADE a lot, and I think that Scarf GALLADE is actually really good with Magnezone, not only because Magnezone can trap both Scizor and Skarmory, which threaten GALLADE, but also because Magnezone resists the fairy type attacks coming at GALLADE, whereas GALLADE can deal with Pokemon like Heatran, which Magnezone does not like. So they pair really well together in my opinion. Magneton in lower tiers can also work too. And then we have Swords Dance GALLADE. This can run either Life Orb or Lumberry, depending. Life Orb for the added oomph. The Lumberry, of course, for the resistance to status, like you don't have to worry about Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, Poison, and stuff like that. So, Swords Dance and Close Combat are your given moves. I think that on Swords Dance sets, you definitely want to run Close Combat. Bulk Up sets should have Drain Punch, but I think Swords Dance sets should always have Close Combat, because GALLADE's strong suit is not its ability to take hits, though on the special side, it does have really good special defense, but that's not its strong suit. It's what it's meant to do is just hit hard. That's not to say that you can't use support options. I didn't give you any, but that's really good for like draft league and stuff. Like you could definitely use more support options and bulkier options because tiers are still settling and there's still more to be found and certain Pokemon are common. I'm going to use what I think is best versus those. But Swords Dance Close Combat. The next move is either Psycho Cut or Poison Jab. Psycho Cut is okay. I mean, like when tiers settle and Gallade goes lower, Psycho Cut would be good versus like Vileplume and Weezing and things like that. Whereas Poison Jab is a good move versus Fairy types if you want to use in higher tiers, like Clefable, for instance. You're 2-hit KOing Special Defensive Clefable with ease. And then your last move is either Knockoff or Shadow Sneak. I think this also depends on what tier you're playing with this Pokemon in. If you're playing with this Pokemon with Swords Dance, Life Orb, you probably want to have Shadow Sneak because, again, Latios, Gengar, Alakazam, all Pokemon that are faster that can deal with you. Whereas Knockoff doesn't hit that much in the OU tier, whereas Close Combat would hit harder. Like everything you'd hit with Knockoff and OU, Close Combat just hits harder. That's just period. It just does. Unless it resists, which of course you have the priority Shadow Sneak anyway. So that's kind of the way to use at least a Swords Dance variant with Gallade. And of course, the last set we have is Bulk Up. Now, Gallade does have the ability to get recovery because of Drain Punch. It also has Wish in its move pool, but I think, again, maybe when tiers settle, you can argue for a Wish set. Does it actually have Wish in the current one? No, it does not have Wish in the current one. Are you kidding me? It gets Life Dew, though. It gets Life Dew, which is cool. Does Gardevoir have Wish right now? Okay, Gardevoir has Wish. Maybe Gallade never got Wish. I swear Gallade got Wish, though, but I could be wrong. I could be. You know what? Let me check super quickly because I don't want to lie to you guys. I feel like Gallade had Wish. Yeah, it did. Okay, good. It did. It did before. It was way before. It just doesn't have it right now. Sorry about that. But yeah, Sub Bulk Up. Sub allows you to avoid status. Now, again, this is just going Jolly Max Attack, Max Speed. I'm not really... In this set in particular, you don't have to go this Eevee Smart. This is just a basic one because when you don't know what's super common, or you do know what's super common, but tiers like UU, for example, are still forming, this can work because, you know, the faster you are, the better chance you have of getting off attack. That's what I always say, right? If you're max speed, you have the highest chances of getting off attacks, in my opinion. But Bulk Up will boost your attack and defense, +1/+1. And with Substitute, you can avoid status. Again, and after a couple Bulk Ups, Gallade's pretty bad. Base 65 defense starts to go higher and higher. You have Drain Punch for recovery, so not only after your Substitute takes some of your health, you can Drain Punch it back, but also it's just a good consistent move that doesn't lower your defenses. And your last move is either Psycho Cut or Knockoff. I actually like Knockoff on Bulk Up a little bit more just because it's good versus like bulky waters like Slowking and Slowbro, which can stop your set. But you can actually set up on them too because they take 2 Scalds to break your subs, which is really nice. Again, you can run like HP on this set if you really want something to tank hits. But Psycho Cut can be used if you're worried about Weezing, Vileplume, just poison types in general. Or Fairy types, you want to be able to hit them. You definitely want to pair this one with things that can deal with Fairy types. Steel types, Magnezone, Skarmory, Scizor with spikes. Can really, really help this Pokemon out. I like Fire types as well because they just murk Fairies for the most part. Like Choice Band Entei, for instance, loves Gallade because Gallade can kind of set up and tank hits on the bulky waters if it really wants to, whereas Choice Band Entei can just melt the Fairy type. So those guys pair really, really well together in my opinion. And it's also, you know, Entei's a Fairy resist, so that's a pretty big thing too. So next up we have Gardevoir. I love Gardevoir. This is one of my favorite sets. Choice Specs just hits so incredibly hard, coming off that base 125 attack, special attack. But Gardevoir has a pretty solid move pool. It was nerfed a little bit because it doesn't have Mystical Fire right now. But it also was buffed since its previous time in Gen 4 just because it is part Fairy type. And with part Fairy type, it has the best Fairy type move in the game, which is Moonblast. Like the best Fairy type attack in the game, in my opinion, which is Moonblast. Now, why is Moonblast the best attack in the game, or at least for Fairies? Because Moonblast is broken, man. Okay, let me tell you why Moonblast is broken. Alright, it's 95 power, which is, I mean, nice, right? Most 95 power moves, though, it's 95 base power, right? It has a 30% chance to lower the target's special attack by 1. It has 100% accuracy, and it has high PP at 24. Like, this is such an incredible move. And Gardevoir having it takes really good use of it right here. So you have the Moonblast. It's basically what you're going to be clicking with Gardevoir most of the time. Like 99% of the time, you're going to be clicking Moonblast with Gardevoir. Then you have Psychic for the random poison types. Like, again, Weezing, Vileplume. Unfortunately, this Pokemon does not have access to Psyshock at the moment. But Psychic is also good for like Gengar and stuff like that too. Infernape. Though Moonblast will murk Infernape. Focus Blast is there if you want to be able to deal with Steals. Obviously, big ones that come to mind that at least take neutral, but still strong damage, like Scizor, Magnezone, of course, Magneton, Heatran type of thing. Gardevoir's ability, I didn't really talk about with Gallade, but you use Justified just because of if you get hit by a dark type attack, you might as well get an attack raise. But Gardevoir takes full advantage of its trace ability, being able to switch in on Heatran, for instance, because it traces Flash Fire, so Heatran can't hit with fire type attacks. Being able to switch in on Rain Pokemon, that's a big one too, Rain Pokemon. Like Kingdra with Swift Swim, because Modest Kingdra is outsped by Gardevoir under Rain because it traces the Swift Swim. So it's really annoying. And it also traces like Intimidate and stuff like that too. So it's really, really cool, the things you can do with Gardevoir. I used to think Gardevoir's face was the, like, you know how the back of its hair, the top part, I thought that was its nose, and then I thought its mouth was like open, like bird face, but like a bird type of face, you know. Obviously that's not how Gardevoir is, but I feel like if the world looked at Gardevoir that way, I wouldn't see all those Gardevoir images on Google when I'm trying to find an image for this video. So that would have been nice. But nonetheless, on specs, I like Shadow Ball as the last move. Good for Jirachi, good for Metagross, right? But Thunderbolt's also an option too for Skarmory, and also still hitting Steel types for neutral for the most part. And then you have Energy Ball, can deal with bulky waters, knock out Swampert in one hit. Specs Gardevoir loves Spike support. It loves Steel types as well to be able to take the attacks coming at it. It also loves, I think Rotom Heat plus Gardevoir is a really good combination, because Rotom Heat deals with a lot of Steel types that otherwise threaten Gardevoir, whereas Gardevoir can shrug off most of the water type attacks aimed at Rotom Heat. But yeah, they pair really, really well together. Next up, we have Choice Scarf, which is the basically almost the same thing, but this again can do the exact same thing. Being that Fairy type, can switch it on Dragon type attacks, pretty cool. And again, with a Choice Scarf, outspeed some pretty prominent threats like Gengar and Latios. So Moonblast, Psychic are your given moves. I love Healing Wish. There's no trick right now, unfortunately, so you can't use this thing to cripple a Blissey or anything. But I love Healing Wish on Gardevoir because you can sacrifice Gardevoir and bring back a threat. Something like a Swordsdance Scizor or Swordsdance Gliscor, maybe Dragon Dance Salamence that you played, or Flygon that's about to die to Stealth Rock. You Healing Wish it so it lives, and then takes Stealth Rock after. And then you have either Focus Blast or Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt's cool for like Dragon Dance, Adamant, Gyarados. You can outspeed it. You also trace its Intimidate, so you can send it back. Gardevoir also traces like Multiscale from Dragonite, which is pretty cool if it's at full HP. But then you have Focus Blast if you just want that added coverage to be able to hit Steel types. For the most part, you're clicking Moonblast and Psychic with this one, though. And then the last set we have, and again, there's a lot of things you can do. You can do like Wish support sets and stuff too, but I don't mention those because I don't think they will work right now. I do think when metas start changing a little bit and we see like a solidified UU with a ban list, a solidified NU, RU, whatever the hell BDSP ends up bringing, I think it'll work. But Calm Mind is cool because it gives you a chance of raising, or it gives you the ability to raise your special attack and special defense, making you a very prominent sweeper. So Calm Mind and Moonblast are given. You always want Moonblast on Gardevoir, always. One of the best moves in the game. And then I like Focus Blast as coverage because Moonblast with Focus Blast is really, really good coverage together. You know, you have your Fairy type attack, which hits a lot of Pokemon for super effective or neutral. And then you have the Focus Blast there to hit the Steel types, which Moonblast misses out on. And then your last move is either Psychic, if you want the Psychic Stab. Again, Pokemon like Weezing, Vileplume, just poison types in general. You don't really need it for fighting types because you have Moonblast. But then you have Substitute. Substitute can allow you to avoid status, and because of Gardevoir's really, really high special defense, you can easily set up on bulky water Pokemon and stuff like that. And then you have Taunt. Taunt can stop the opponent from phasing you out, like going for like Roar or Whirlwind, Haze, things like that, or setting up alongside you and trying to do damage back. It's kind of what you want with that. I like Leftovers with this set in particular. You could probably do Wish Calm Mind as well. You could slash Wish if you really wanted to. But I think that Taunt will allow you to at least avoid status and stop setup, whereas Substitute will completely allow you to avoid status and also not be revenge killed as easily. So kind of up to you what you like. But as I mentioned, both of these Pokemon really do like Steel types like Magnezone with them. Ground types like Donphan for Stealth Rock, Hazard support. Gardevoir Specs is incredible no matter what set. But with U-Turn and Volt Switch support, you can really help it get in and shine as well. It's a really good anti-weather Pokemon because it's able to trace Chlorophyll, it's able to trace Rain Dance, and Swift Swim, and for the most part, Gardevoir outspeeds all of the Pokemon unless they're running plus speed natures, which even with plus speed natures, some of them won't be able to outspeed Gardevoir. Like, for example, Ludicolo, even with a timid nature, cannot outspeed timid Gardevoir ever. In the rain, just because Gardevoir would just trace it. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with Gardevoir. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Let me know which Pokemon that you want to see next down below. And of course, stay tuned for the next episode of the Road Top 10 later on my channel today, as well as a Wi-Fi battle. I'll see you guys. Goodbye, my friends.